So in today's video, I show you how to clean a Kohler style or even a Honda style carburetor. This is off of a Toro recycler push mower, and first thing I'll do is maybe remove the bottom bowl nut. Oh, definitely lots of water. There you go, guys. It's kind of like oil and water, except it's fuel and water. So as I suspected, take off this float bowl. Look at the nice nastiness in there. That, guys, is old ethanol fuel gelled up. So with all the ethanol in our gas nowadays, guys, it's really important to run your equipment out of fuel before you put it away for storage. I'm going to take off these little clamps here because this little hose is bothering me. Alright, there you go, some more gelled up ethanol fuel. Take the float pin out. Sorry about that. Take the float pin out. Take out the float and the needle. Now the needle looks good. What you're kind of looking for is a ring around the rubber tip of the needle. I don't see any of that or evidence of that, so that's good. The seat in itself is a brass seat. It's not replaceable. So that I do like, and the fact that there's a little spring on there that holds that needle in place, I do like that. There's a bunch of gunk in here. And your emulsion tube or your pickup tube. This is where it picks up the fuel. Inside of here there's a jet. It's also a brass jet, and because there's a lot of water and hopefully it's not corroded in there. No, that one's nice and loose. So you got to be careful with these, guys. You can strip them pretty easily. In fact, it's very important to use the appropriate sized screwdriver. The widest one that will fit in there, basically. And you just keep turning that out. And the main jet comes out. And behind the main jet, there's your emulsion tube. Okay? Now when you're cleaning these out, guys, you can see, hopefully, there are a whole bunch of little holes in passageways. Trusty bread clip. And I'm going to go into each one of these passageways and make sure that they're nice and cleaned out individually all the way through. Straight down, clean all the passageways. There's the main center portion. I mean, have real target, pretty cool. Now there are some smaller holes as well, and just that one in there. Oh, yeah, you don't feel all the way through. So get yourself a smaller bread clip, or you take a little piece of wire off of a wire brush or a wire wheel, and that should fit through there. Alright, so that guy's good. And here's your main jet. Now this main jet is almost completely clogged, and that's probably why we weren't getting any fuel. Any fuel we would have got to the carburetor or into the engine would have been water anyways, but this guy is pretty much completely clogged. Another tool I use sometimes is these welding torch tip cleaners. These aren't that expensive. I think I paid $7.99 Canadian Tire. And what you want to do is find the biggest one that goes through this hole without having to ream it out at all. There you go. And that'll clean out any of the gunk out of there. Just make sure, go up one more size just to make sure that was the biggest one. Yep. Objective is not to make the hole bigger, just to clean out any of the gunk out of there. Alright. And now I can see through that main jet. There you go. Before that was pretty much completely blocked off, no light getting through there at all. That guy's done, that guy's done. I will spray those out with some carb cleaner as well. The other thing I'm going to do is just spray all of these sort of passageways with carb cleaner, get as much of that gunk out of there as I can. These little passageways here. So any little small orifices, maybe just spray the outside just a little bit as well. And then I got to clean out this bowl. So first thing I do is try and get all this gel out of here. I imagine once I get this gel out, it won't be that bad. Alright, so I'm going to go spray some air in there, and then try and clean that out a little bit better. So one other thing with these carburetors, guys, you have to do is there's an idle circuit, and all you do is take this guy out, take your flathead screwdriver and pry this little plug out nice and gently. And down in there, there's a bit of a passageway. Just spray a little bit of carb cleaner in there for your idle circuit. And then there's a huge hole here, and then there's a small little hole in there, super tiny. And you just gotta make sure that guy is poked through. Okay. Spray just a touch of carb spray through there. Alright. Now she's ready to go back together. So this is just pressure fit. The only thing I do is make sure it's basically the horizontal parts line up with the horizontal part here, front and back. Snap that guy back in. Now this adjusts the idle speed of your lawnmower. Now none of these lawnmowers nowadays actually have an idle speed. You can't actually change the RPM, it's fixed. So all I'm doing here, here's my throttle butterfly. I'm going to have it in the fully closed position, and then I'm just going to screw that in until I see it touch the arm for the throttle. When it starts moving, that's where I'm going to set it. Alright, time for some reassembly. First things first, emulsion tube, nice and cleaned out. Carb cleaner, main jet goes in next. When you tighten it down, just like I said before, don't over tighten it because you're going to strip the head of this thing and you'll never get it out again. Then your carburetor will be junk. So I just started to feel some resistance there now, and maybe 1/16 of a turn just to snug it up. So that's that. Float pin. Now I'm going to test my float, my needle and seat before I put it back together. For a link to the video on how I do that, you can just click up on the top right of your screen right now, and I'll be back when I'm done that. So I tested the needle and seat, everything seems okay there. Now just to put the gasket back on. It's in good shape, so I'm going to reuse that. Some guys just don't want to have any problems with it, so they just replace the parts, and I can understand that too. So I'm going to put the bowl back on in such a way that I'll be able to access the drain valve. I'm going to spray a little bit of lubricant on the threads, since this guy was a little on the rusty side. That way if I service it again, I won't have as many issues next time, or whoever services it next will thank me. 10 mil. Alright, so she's all back together. Now to put her back on the machine.